welcome back to Opal and Mint. I am Ashley.
I'm Kylie.
Kylie is here.
I don't know what this was.
This is you. First video for this year with Kylie, and today I figured we should start the year off with some good art exercises. These are some great just foundation exercises for anything in art, basically, but they are sketching exercises, and I know a lot of watercolor people say they can't sketch, and so I figured this is a really good, just basic, break it down, things you can do to exercise to get the muscle memory, which will translate into your watercolors, being able to do a smooth line when you're painting, all these things. So we're gonna show you 5 top exercises in sketching that will help your watercolors. And if you don't watercolor, this is great for sketching in any kind of art.
In general. It's
Yes.
just good for sketching.
So we are gonna turn the camera around, show you our lovely hands. I have eczema all over mine. Sorry about that. And we are gonna show you our top 5 sketching art exercises. Wow. How about you say our top 5 what? Are you not gonna say it?
No.
Okay, well let's just get to it then. All right, so if you're curious about these pencils, these were actually mentioned in our art gift guide. This is the set that I got for Christmas. Okay, so top 5 exercises. All right, so number 1. All right, so the first one that we're going to cover are circles and ovals, as well as curves. So anything that's not straight. So we have our circles, ovals, and curve. So I'm gonna start with curve, and then we'll complete the curve. All right, Kylie. So when we're doing a curve, this goes with straight lines as well. This is gonna be a very common thing, but we're going to keep our wrist fairly still. Although curves,
Not with curves.
No, well, sometimes I do. It depends on
the kind of
level of curve.
It's a curved cone.
It's a curved cone. So, Kylie, how would you do your curves? Good time. So she is holding her fingers still and just moving the wrist.
But you can also do curves like this.
Yeah, or you can hold your wrist still. It really depends on
what you're doing too.
the direction, the length, everything like that. But practice curves 2 ways. 1, keeping your hand still and flicking your wrist. And then 2, keeping your wrist still and moving your hand.
I made mine really big.
That's an S curve, but
I know I did some S curves too, but
well, I didn't specify. There's C curves and S curves, but it's really good to just practice them, try to get them consistent, and
do them confidently, because you don't want to do them too slow and
it'll be shaky.
Like shaky.
Yeah,
so you want
and do them in different directions. So I want to do curves upside down too.
Yeah.
So do curves going all different ways.
I need to practice my upside down ones.
It's a new direction. So those are all C curves that I did, and then this is an S curve that Kylie did. So basically curving one way and then the other. And then try to do them the same and do them side by side. Go across an entire page and do a bunch of curves. Okay, so your circles. Kylie, you want to demonstrate a circle for us?
I'm so bad at the circle one.
That's okay. Have you seen any of those like reels where they show how a normal person draws a circle?
And then how
an artist? Okay, so that's a normal person circle. Show us an artist circle.
You're gonna mimic it, and then when you see a normal circle that I'm really bad at doing, and then you're gonna do that.
You hover.
A wonky.
It's fine. You hover above the surface, and then you put your pencil down, and you just go like that. And again, we're going to get to sketching lightly in a second, but I'm showing you this so you can see it. But you would sketch lightly, and then you find your perfect circle within that. And then ovals are the same. So this is keeping my wrist still and just moving my hand like that. Everything is locked.
Really weird on this textured paper.
Yeah. Well, because I'm going to watercolor.
No, I know.
But practice your circles, your curves, and your ovals. That is the number 1 exercise you need to practice. All right.
I need to practice my circles because they end up looking wonky sometimes.
Number 2 are straight lines. So for straight lines, this is what I recommend you do. Again, lock that wrist. If you are moving your wrist, you're gonna, like,
To make a curve.
It's not, it's a curved cone.
Every time I hear curve.
I do too. And it's got Kylie in my head. So you're going to keep your wrist
locked, straight,
immobile.
Immobile.
And you're just gonna go across the page like this. So practice straight lines this way, practice them this way, practice them this way. Go in all different directions. Straight lines. Kylie, show us your straights. There's also the finger flicks too.
Yeah, there is the finger flicks as well, like the.
Yeah, so the up and down finger flicks, where your wrist is still straight, but you're using this finger right here. You're doing this kind of motion where you're just pushing down.
My up and down ones always get me. I always go.
Well, going up and down, the finger flick is a good one.
Yeah.
Just gotta focus on not curving it. Just try to keep it doop, 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 like that. And then go across it this way and do just like a hatching. So fill up an entire page with these exercises and you will get the muscle memory of doing these things. So when it comes to drawing, which we will show in a second, it'll be easier. It'll come naturally, okay? Yeah. So we have circles, ovals, curves, and straights. What is number 3?
Simple shapes.
Simple shapes. Okay, so we have our things that go into simple shapes. We have our straight lines and our curves and everything. So we're gonna do a box, a square.
Yeah.
So our up and down straight line, I'm gonna do the flicky flick.
The flicky flick.
And then across, I'm going to straight. So just, and then we have our triangle too. See, we're straight. Straight lines. See, you can do up and down. Like I said, you can do the flicks or the practice getting your simple shapes. And circles would go under simple shapes as well.
I was gonna say circles
but
would.
Do the exact same thing.
Rectangles.
Anything that is
a
kindergartner's shape.
But you can also branch out to 3D shapes.
Yeah.
Eventually as well.
Because then you do your flick, flick. Oops. Practice simple shapes.
And one thing we'll talk about later is like drawing lightly. So don't worry about going over on these corners. You can just kind of erase them.
When you're sketching, you are a little bit messy.
You're
sometimes.
A lot of bit messy.
Yeah, I mean, because number 5, we'll get there. Okay, number 4 is shading. This is my personal favorite.
I love shading.
And it will help you to shape your shapes as well. So you have a 3-dimensional shape. So let's go with our circle. So we're gonna do our simple shapes, circle curves here. So we have our circle. To shade this, we don't do just straight lines because you're not getting the curve of the shape. So we're gonna go along.
I guess I have, just not like that. I like at least like that, but like no.
So the shading curves along with the circle. The husband walked in the room.
When we get to the middle, it gets less and less.
Yeah, so this is where you'll have kind of straight shading here, curved shading going this way, and curved shading going this way.
Yeah.
If you're doing that, then there's this way too. Like we talked about the axis. So we're not going to get into that. We're doing simple. So let's stick with doing watercolors and flowers. So we have our petal. So to give this some shape and shade and different things, we don't just do straight lines like this to shade it. It looks funny, doesn't it?
It looks really funny.
So in the middle, we have straight, and on the edges, we have the curves. So we're going to do just little curves. So back to our number 1 is curves. Curve cone.
I know, every time. It takes a lot of effort to not say it every time.
Yeah. So I'm doing curves this way and curves this way, and then straight marks in the center to kind of give the leaf shading. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that look good?
Yes.
I could do this for a while.
I know. I was going to say shading is easy to get lost in.
Okay, so we're wanting to just touch the surface here in this video. We don't want to go too in depth. This is super.
This is just
super
a quick
quick.
Little, yeah.
Okay. So we have our circles, ovals, curves. We have our straight lines. I didn't write the words here. our simple shapes and our shading. And then number 5 is sketching lightly. So this is very important in sketching in general, but also with watercolor. If you're sketching before you paint, it needs to be very light because watercolor is what? Transparent. So you'll see it through. And if you're trying to erase like really, really dark beforehand, you're not gonna get it all the way gone. So if you sketch lightly, you'll be able to erase it and then watercolor.
Lines lightly. So you can do all of these exercises and try and do them.
So
lightly.
do these exercises once again, but with a very light hand. So you're just gonna not put as much pressure. I don't really know how else to explain it.
It's also, if for some people it's easier to hold it further back.
Yeah, because
so that you don't
the closer you are, like the harder you'll press it. The further you are, you can't quite press it as hard.
I've seen some unique ways that people will hold their pencils.
Hold the pencils, yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about them because I've seen someone hold their pencil like this.
You're not on camera.
Like this. And it's like this.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I
say do what works for you.
Do what works for you. Because I haven't gotten used to that.
But this is the 5th exercise that you should practice specifically for watercolors, but sketching in general as well. Sketch as lightly as you can. Very important skill to have.
So your first sketch on any kind of drawing needs
to
be
be
light, because
as light as possible.
You're going to be rough. It's the foundation. It's not going to be pretty right away.
Yeah. So kind of like I did with the circle, I sketched lightly and then I went in dark with the line so you could see it. Sketching lightly. All right, so these are our top 5 exercises. I want to quickly show them in painting. I'm just going to do a flower, a simple flower, to kind of show you how these will translate into your watercolor painting. Like, I'm not painting a masterpiece here. I say that a lot when I'm teaching. But I'm just painting to show you. Okay, so we're gonna do a flower. We're gonna try to incorporate our sketching exercises. So with a flower, we're gonna start with a circle. So I'm going to sketch lightly a circle. And then, and then I'm going to kind of refine that edge, refine where I want that circle. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do a sunflower because I feel like that's a super easy, recognizable one. So doing the petals, we're gonna be using our curves. So we're gonna curve one way and then curve another way. Okay, and that was a little bit dark, but I'm trying where you can see it.
Yeah, well, you're also using a very thick lid.
It is, it's a thick one.
If you want to use a lighter one, you could.
It's okay. Using your curves, and again, being confident in those strokes. Once you have practiced using those curves, or doing those curves over and over, doing this will become a lot easier.
Your hand will get more used to it.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit more steady, and so I'm just trying to do this super quick here. Okay, so here's a sunflower, and then I'm going to, again, the stem, words. It's not going to be a straight line because the straight line stem looks weird, so it's going to be a very gradual curve. And then, I don't know what a sunflower leaf looks like.
I don't either.
But again, we're going to just do some curves. So, painting flowers, a lot of times you can do without the sketching phase. A lot of times I don't sketch unless it's a more intricate flower, but knowing how to do this when you go into actually painting without the sketching, you have this in your brain, if that makes sense. Okay, let me quickly show you how I would paint this, and then we'll be explaining shading in that as well. So let me grab a brush. So, and even using watercoloring now, we're using our skills here because I'm going in a circle here with the brush. So it does feel a little bit different using a brush than a pencil, but it is the same basic skills. So I have my center. I'm going to get a little bit darker of a brown, and I'm going to tap some color kind of around the edge. We're shading a little bit. And a sunflower has a darker spot in the middle as well.
like black.
And then it's Van Dyke brown. And then some of them actually have a ring of green. So I like to tap in a little bit of green right there. And as that dries, that will look cool. Okay, so I'm gonna take my quinacridone gold real quick. And so I'm gonna be using my curves when I'm doing this as well. So there is that. So you're gonna go all the way around using your curves. And then on the shading layer, I'm gonna go through and do this real quick. We'll come back and I'll show you the shading. All right, so we have a dry-ish flower, and I'm gonna show you how I would do a little bit of detailing and shading on this. So I'm gonna mix my Quin Gold here with a little bit of this brown. Yeah, it warped. So it's a little bit darker. I need a paper towel, but I don't have one. It's fine. So I'm going to do my shading by doing a couple of curved lines, straight line in the middle, curve. So make sure you're curving with your petals.
That's so pretty.
Is it?
Is it?
It's funny. So this right here is using your skills as light sketching too, doing some really, really fine lines in there. If you are sketching lightly, you can also translate that into using the very, very tip of your brush. So I hope that these exercises, I can't say that word today.
Why
I don't know.
Exercise is so hard for you today.
Exercising's hard.
That's true.
Anyways, I hope that these top 5 sketching exercises help you with your watercolor or just your art in general. And if you do these exercises or make something using these, be sure to tag us on Instagram. We do have an Instagram account. We post a lot of reels, short videos there. But yeah, I think that wraps up using all of our skills here. Let's do just a little.
I nodded like they could see me.
You did nod. Yep. What were you nodding about?
I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, she agrees. Anyways, so that's gonna wrap up this video. Let us know what you want to see next, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a
Thumbs up.
and if you haven't already and you want to see those future videos,
Hit that subscribe button
down below. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Butterfly. Is it focusing? Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
So these are foundational. I don't know what I'm saying yet.
Foundational.
Foundational.
But you already summed it up so beautifully.
No, I didn't. We need to put you in there and get rid of me. So here are top 5 blah blahs, whatever you want to say.
What's a blah blah?
We'll find out.
What's the definition of blah blah?
BLAH.
That's the spelling, not the...
Look at
I've never
this.
seen it.
I know. Look at the fat lead. And it comes with colors. You can put colored fat lead. And it comes with a little sharpener so you can sharpen your fat lead too. Sharpen your fat lead.